What if the next AI breakthrough isn't a startup, but the investors behind it? Mark Zuckerberg's latest acquisition target isn't a company, it's an entire investment fund worth over $1 billion. The information reports that Meta is in talks to partially buy out Nat Friedman and Daniel Gross's AI investment fund, which holds stakes in some of the most valuable AI startups today. But here's what makes this deal absolutely unprecedented. Many sources say Zuckerberg prioritizes talent over assets, but as we'll see, he gains both. This reveals something massive about Meta's AI strategy that few have realized: how this move reshapes Meta's competitive positioning. Friedman's path to AI investing started with building developer tools. Microsoft acquired his startup in 2016, and in 2018 he took the helm at GitHub, right after Microsoft bought it for $7.5 billion. Running GitHub gave Friedman unprecedented access to the global developer community and early visibility into which AI projects were gaining real traction. He left Microsoft in 2021 to focus entirely on investing, right as the AI boom was starting to accelerate. So who exactly are these two guys that Meta thinks are worth over $1 billion? Nat Friedman and Daniel Gross are serial entrepreneurs who built and sold companies before becoming two of the most connected people in AI. The investment kingpins Meta is targeting, but their biggest coup wouldn't be startups they built, it's the companies they bet on before anyone else. When they launched their investment fund, Friedman and Gross didn't just throw money at random AI startups. They systematically identified companies before they became obvious picks. They invested early in Perplexity, when it was just another search experiment. They backed 11 Labs, when synthetic voice was still considered niche. They spotted potential in character AI before conversational AI became mainstream. Gross took a different route, but ended up in an equally strategic position. His startup Q was bought by Apple and formed the backbone of the original Siri launch. After the acquisition, he spent years leading machine learning efforts at Apple, giving him deep technical expertise in AI systems. He saw firsthand how AI products get built at massive scale and what separates the winners from the failures. Here's where it gets interesting. Friedman has already been working with Meta since May 2024 as part of an advisory group consulting on AI strategy. Zuckerberg actually offered him the top AI role at Meta earlier this year. Friedman turned it down, but helped identify Alexander Wang as a candidate and convinced Zuckerberg that poaching him from Scale was possible. Meanwhile, Gross holds an even more strategic position. He's not just an investor in safe Superintelligence alongside Ilya Sutskever. He's actually listed as a co-founder and serves as the company's CEO. This creates a fascinating conflict of interest if Meta acquires him. But acquiring these two investors means Meta gets more than just their expertise. The timing of Meta's pursuit makes perfect sense. Both investors have established track records of spotting AI winners early. They have extensive networks throughout the AI research community, and they understand both the technical and business sides of building AI companies. What makes their approach so valuable isn't just their money. It's their ability to attract top AI researchers and predict which startups will dominate the future. They've essentially become talent magnets in an industry where the best people can choose to work anywhere. The billion-dollar portfolio that comes with the deal. They're gaining access to one of the most valuable AI investment portfolios in existence. The crown jewel is Safe Superintelligence, which just closed $2 billion at a $32 billion valuation. Much of that based on Ilya Sutskever's reputation, making this fund slice extraordinarily valuable. The portfolio extends far beyond safe superintelligence. Friedman and Gross were early investors in Perplexity when it was just another search experiment. They backed Character.ai before conversational AI became mainstream. They spotted 11 Labs when synthetic voice was still considered niche. These companies are now worth billions, and Meta would buy enough of the fund to inherit those stakes rather than the entire portfolio. The financial mechanics create a unique situation where Meta gains both the talent and the investments in one deal. Omar Kanji of Dragonfly Capital called it mind-boggling for Meta, giving them a piece of safe superintelligence and other household names like Perplexity and Character.ai. But here's where it gets complicated. With Gross serving as CEO of Safe Superintelligence, his move to Meta could shake up the company's independence and its valuation. The situation becomes even messier when you consider that gross leaving for Meta would materially impact the $32 billion valuation of safe Superintelligence. The ripple effects extend to every portfolio company. If their key investors suddenly work for Meta, do these startups maintain their independence, or do they become acquisition targets? The dynamics change completely when your investors are no longer neutral parties, but employees of a company that might want to buy you or compete with you. This creates a contradiction that's hard to ignore. Sources say Zuckerberg doesn't care about the assets and just wants the talent. But these assets are worth billions of dollars. Safe Superintelligence alone represents a $32 billion valuation. How do you ignore that kind of value? This deal represents a fundamental shift in how tech giants compete for AI dominance. Instead of waiting to see which companies succeed and then trying to buy them, Meta is buying the investors who spot the winners early. But this investment fund acquisition reveals something much bigger about Zuckerberg's approach to AI. The reality is that this acquisition gives Meta something unprecedented: inside access to the entire next generation of AI companies. They're not just hiring two investors, they're buying a pipeline into the most promising AI startups before they become obvious acquisition targets. Meta gains early visibility into which companies are gaining traction, which technologies are working, and which teams are worth acquiring. Zuckerberg's desperate AI talent war strategy. Meta's aggressive talent acquisition strategy goes far beyond this single fund purchase. But this isn't an isolated play. Zuckerberg has been trying to buy practically everyone in AI who has any technical credibility. The Friedman and Gross deal comes after his failed attempt to acquire safe Superintelligence directly earlier this year. Sources say Ilya Sutskever rebuffed Zuckerberg's offer outright. When you can't buy the company, apparently you try to buy the investors who have stakes in it. The aggressive pursuit extends to other major AI players. He also approached Perplexity directly and offered at least $3 billion for Thinking Machines, a pre-product startup valued at $10 billion. That last one is particularly telling. Thinking Machines is only 6 months old, still pre-product, but has already raised $2 billion at a $10 billion valuation. The company has attracted more than 30 leading researchers from major AI labs, which explains why Meta wants it. Meta is competing directly with Google, OpenAI, and others for the same limited pool of AI talent. The competition has driven compensation to unprecedented levels. When the best AI researchers are in short supply, tech giants are willing to pay whatever it takes to secure them. The economics are simple. The potential upside from AI dominance is measured in trillions of dollars, so spending billions on talent acquisition makes financial sense. Why would Zuckerberg shell out billions rather than hire or partner? Because he's building a talent pipeline no one else can match. The Friedman and Gross acquisition would strengthen Meta's new Superintelligence division under Alexander Wang. This division represents Meta's most serious attempt to compete with OpenAI and Google DeepMind. Adding two of the most connected investors in AI gives Meta access to talent networks that would take years to build organically. Acquiring investment fund leaders provides advantages that go far beyond hiring employees. Meta gains early visibility into which AI companies are gaining traction, which technologies are working, and which teams are worth acquiring. They get inside access to board meetings, financial data, and strategic plans of portfolio companies. This intelligence advantage could be worth more than the billion-dollar price tag. The strategy raises questions about whether this approach can actually work or if it signals desperation. But in an industry where a single breakthrough can shift the entire competitive landscape, missing out on key talent could be catastrophic. Meta's billion-dollar bet reveals something profound about how the AI race is evolving. This acquisition represents a fundamental shift in how tech giants compete. Instead of buying individual companies, Meta is buying entire ecosystems of talent, investments, and strategic partnerships. Instead of waiting for winners, Meta's betting on the scouts themselves, setting a new playbook. This consolidation raises serious questions about the future of AI development and startup independence. When your investors work for Meta, how independent can you really be? The risk is that we end up with a handful of tech giants controlling not just AI products, but the entire pipeline of AI innovation. Ask yourself, will this funnel of talent accelerate innovation or cement control in the hands of a few giants? Let me know your view in the comments. If you want more inside looks at the AI battleground, hit subscribe and ring the bell.